welcome to Cooking with Sergio, the very, very first vlog. We will try to teach every time a different recipe, hopefully an easy one, although today is probably not the easiest, but definitely one of the most yummy. We are gonna start showing you how to prepare a typical focaccia bread from Genoa, the Ligurian famous focaccia. Flat, soft, and very, very tasty.
Okay, let's start with the ingredients. We have salt. Salt is 4 grams. Then we have flour. The flour will be 180 grams. Olive oil, it's 11 grams. The yeast will be 3 grams of the instant yeast or 4 of the regular dry. The water is 112 grams. On a side, I'm going to prepare the yeast with a little bit of warm water and sugar. Okay, 1 teaspoon of sugar, then we'll put the yeast, in this case 3 grams of the instant, and we will stir. In the water we will be now putting salt, the olive oil as well, and then I think I put too much oil, so this is going to be a little left that I'm going to set aside for later. And now we're going to go and stir all the liquid ingredients. Now for stirring and mixing, you will see I'm using 2 chopsticks. It's something that I learned from an Italian chef. It's quick, that's very efficient, and when you mix the flour as well, you'll see it gives a pretty nice result. Okay, now we're gonna add half of the flour that we had. Start incorporating and creating a very smooth, still liquid dough. And the reason is we're going to incorporate flour, water, olive oil, and salt before adding the yeast. Here's the yeast. Now that it's been sitting for a little while, you see the foam tells us that the yeast has been activated. We're going to add it to our base, which will be even more liquid now. And now that it's smooth, no lumps, we can actually add the remainder of the flour and work it the same way to incorporate and get a very smooth dough.
If the dough is too sticky, too wet, of course, little by little you can add some flour to get the consistency that you would like to have. And once you get there, then the dough will be ready to be transferred to our working counter. probably time now to put an apron. You know, before I create some very big mess. Okay, let's prepare our working surface. We're gonna add flour so that the dough won't stick to it. We will work the dough for at least 5 minutes, and we will incorporate more flour until it's a smooth consistency. Here we go, more flour to the top. Let's start working it, and a good 5 minutes working the dough will be crucial now. Once ready, we're gonna form a ball, nice and smooth, and we will cover with the towel, making sure no air comes through. Air is your worst enemy when it comes to leavening. We will let the dough rest for 15 minutes. Now that it's rested, we're gonna do what we call a stretch and a fold. We stretch the dough to a rectangular shape. Then we're gonna fold it in 3 like a C fold, like you would do with a letter. You might wanna fold it once more by the time we transfer it to the baking sheet. This folding process allows us to let the dough incorporate more air and become more fluffy. Okay, this is the remainder of the olive oil that I set aside before. Of course I need more, so I'm gonna go get the bottle. And here we go, a little bit more. Now we're gonna extend and rub it all around this parchment paper, which is highly recommended if you don't want to have a very bad looking baking trays in no time. Let's take our dough. There you go, I folded it again, now it's a square shape. It'll be easier once I go to stretch it, but for now let's make sure that all the dough is covered in oil, and then we are going to put a towel on the dough and insert it in the oven. I prepared the oven by bringing it quickly to 160 degrees and then turn it off. Once I turn it off, I let the oven stay for like 5 minutes so that it's warm inside, but probably like 50 degrees altogether. And here we go. We let the dough rest in the oven for a good 40 minutes to an hour. And the dough has risen again and got twice as much the size. I will now
cover again with a little bit of flour so that it doesn't stick to my hands, and I'm gonna try to get the dough and enlarge it to make it the same size of the pan. Alright, we want to now put some, like a generous amount of salt all over it. That will prevent the dough from crusting, from becoming dry on the top. And we will need to cover it again and leave it there for another 30 minutes. I understand it's a long process, but that's the secret, to make it nice and fluffy. Crusty and fluffy at the same time. It's an amazing thing. Alright, now I prepared some water with some salt, like a brine in it. I'm gonna cover the whole focaccia with water and olive oil, which we're gonna mix with our hands on the dough itself before we will create the famous holes. They're not really holes, but we're gonna create these nooks and crannies that are typical of a Ligurian focaccia. This will allow the water and olive oil to fill them. Will also give the focaccia that particular aspect of the Ligurian focaccia bread, which is like white and brownish. Now, you can put whatever toppings you like. I'm just putting some dried oregano, and that's it for me, but you can put black olives. Okay, let's put it in the oven, which is ready at 460 degrees. It can go anywhere between 450 and 475. You decide according to your oven.
After exactly 20 minutes in the oven, we're now ready to go and take a look at what our focaccia looks like.
Oh, here it is. Exactly as I told you. There are lighter and darker spots all over. The smell is fantastic. I'm gonna go cut it and I'm gonna go try it for you. I can't wait. This smells incredibly good.
So now we go try it. Divine.